Hello, I'm Wendy and this is Summer Bay Studio. Today I'm going to be working in my glue book again. This is a travel journal that I've been filling in gradually and just doing different things totally for fun and, color schemes, whatnot. This is a Christmas one I did a couple of videos ago. And today I thought I'd do sort of a Christmassy wintry theme. And because I couldn't find paper that I really liked for a background, I decided to paint it. And I'm using just these acrylic paints. You can use the kind that's just in like a craft bottle like this. Anything works. And I'm going to put it just straight on the paper and then kind of mix the colors around and add some other interesting things, I'm hoping. And we'll see what happens. So this is kind of my idea here is that it's going to be like a wintry night and maybe a bit of snow blowing or I'm not really sure what. I have a picture in my mind, can't always exactly articulate it, and often it turns out differently from what I anticipate anyway. So I've got silver and ultramarine blue and primary blue, and I'm just going to mix those together. My brush is already wet. I already actually tried something. I'm also going to need just a piece of paper, scrap paper, so that I can paint over the edges and it won't make the previous pages stick to this one. So this is just quite liberally squirted on here, and I wanted to have some variation in the color. So I'm going to go just down the center here and then again over it, just kind of holding on to the book over here. And give me another piece of paper. So that I can finish this edge as well. Let's get some silver in there. Think of swirling snow, or if you've ever been in a blizzard or looking out the window at a blizzard. That's kind of the look I'm after. So wind is blowing, snow is blowing, sometimes sideways. And I grew up on a farm on the Canadian prairies where blizzards in the winter were just not uncommon at all. And they can be pretty scary if you're not prepared, but it's like monsoon season elsewhere or places that get very hot. People in their, because people are smart, we've discovered and developed ways to deal with the environment that we live in and in which we find ourselves. And then, you can do whatever. So we had things like you're pretty self-sufficient. So, if the power went out, we weren't desperate. The furnace, I think, was a gas one or a propane one or whatever. Now I'm just going to put a few streaks in here like this with the side of the brush so that it doesn't look quite like solid brush strokes. This is cool. I'm liking this. Now a word about the paper. It's just like copy paper. So it's not very robust and it doesn't really like to be wet and it's going to buckle and it's just how it is. One of these days, I keep saying I'm going to make a travel journal made out of watercolor paper, something heavier, but haven't got there yet. And now one thing I want to do is add a bit of sparkle. Now I'm not really sure how well this will stick in the wet paint, and this is just glitter. So I'm going to just sprinkle it on and hope that it kind of sticks where I put it because the paint is still wet. And we'll find out if that's the case. Make sure I get some kind of here and there all over, which is pretty easy to do with glitter because it tends to get all over, as you probably know if you've ever worked with it. But what I like to do is try new things. So I'm not very snobby about being an artist. I think as long as you're having fun and creating something that makes you happy, That's the main thing. If you're trying to find a market for your work, that's a different strategy. But for this channel, it's about having fun doing crafts and painting and paper, using paper. And there, I'm just going to leave that now and let it dry, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, my paint is all dry and the pages are nice and dry. I think they're completely dry. I actually dried the back of this one too. I used my makeshift heat gun, which is a Conair hair thing. I just took the hair curler parts off it because I didn't use it, and I thought, hey, wait a minute, I've got a perfect heat gun here, which does work great, by the way. Anyway, it's ready to go. So I've pulled out some odds and ends that kind of say winter, and you know, a little bit Christmassy, but not necessarily. So I've got some snowmen, or snow individuals as we used to call them, some mittens, this little robin, that's a cute little piece, some holly, and some other mittens and these little guys. So I don't really have a plan, and I thought I would just get started and see how it goes. And let's just take this out of here, and I think it had glue on it, so now it's sticking to everything. Move that out of the way. And I also have some other little things that I cut out. These are actually on my website, and they're free in the library. All you have to do is just sign up for the list, and you can get the password to get in. And they're just kind of inspirational quotes. So here's one that would kind of go, because it's got a mountain on it. That one would too. I thought I had some white ones as well. I think I do, but anyway, I might use some of those, I might not. So let's start with a bit of a layout here. I think I like these guys. These are actually similar, just flipped over, and these are also in my store at Summer Base Studio, so you can just click on the link below. I don't know if I want to use them all. I like this one with this one, and I'm not trying to create any particular message here. I think maybe this goes with that. Oh, I know what I have. I have blue distress ink, which would go well. Let's get these paints out of the way. Oh, I got other stuff here that I don't need to have right beside me. Like an apple? Not using that, I don't think. Sometimes I don't clear the decks after I finish a video because I've just got too much else going on. However, one good piece that happened here is the glitter stuck, and the trick is throw it on there when the paint is really wet, and then I just let it sit, and then I used my heat gun. So I think I'm just going to make this up as I go along, starting with this kind of layout. These little guys are pretty cute. I'll maybe use them up here, or maybe not. But to start with, I'm going to distress around this guy and stick him down. And I've got that, and I've got a little blue one to change it. So I'll try not to get brown all over my hands. Oh, something else I have too is these little clear dimensional glossy accents. So I might use something like that. I also have silver glitter glue if I wanted to add little accents. But let's just see how it goes. I'm going to press this down with a tissue so I don't have blue fingers. And then just do the edges in this faded jeans blue. We actually had snow in the last week, a couple of times. Last weekend we had it, and then again a couple of days later. Wet snow, and not a lot of it, and of course it's hovering around 0 anyway. That is 0 Celsius, and so if it goes up half a degree, it starts to melt. So, you know, it was pretty well it lasted. Oh, I like that. That goes really well. But what the other result is that where I live, I'm surrounded by mountains, and when the snow comes down the mountain, it's on all the evergreens, and it's just beautiful. It's basically, you know what they say, like a Christmas card, and or you could just say like a Canadian winter. There, those are cute. I like that. I'm glad I did that. Okay, let's put these little characters in here. So I would like to know, have you done any glue book projects? And if you have, how do you like it? I found what I like about it is it's quick and easy. It doesn't take much planning, and it's just fun. So I'm going to use a spatula, not that one. I'm going to use this one and spread this glue kind of inwardly because I don't want it squirting out all over the place. So I'm going to push it towards the center, and hopefully it'll stick down without coming out the edges. I think I need to thicken my glue up a little bit, or put different glue in that. But I keep saying that, and I keep thinking, yeah, I'll think about that later, and later hasn't arrived yet. So there you have it. So that little guy, just stay right there. I hope he sticks well to the paint. I haven't had any problems before with sticking stuff onto paint. So let's just hope that same applies. And this time I'm just not going to put it too close to the edges. And instead I'll press it towards the edges when I turn it over. And then we'll see if it gets the edges down. Yeah, that works. Works very well. And this tree, I think, looks kind of like it has, it's surrounded by snow. It doesn't have snow on it, which makes me think I wouldn't mind putting something on it. But first I'm going to stick it down, because otherwise then I'll have to wait for something to dry for who knows how long. And again, I'm going to use this glue and put it kind of more towards the center and push it out. My other alternative is to use my stick glue, which I probably should have done, and I usually do when something has a lot of little points. Just push that out towards the edges, which is working perfectly actually. I'm getting it coming out. My plan was that it will, when I press it out towards the edge, it'll catch on all those little points. Okay, let's distress this little one as well. This looks like a girl to me. So when I was growing up with my siblings, we decided to call them snow individuals so that we wouldn't be discriminatory against females of the snow persuasion. Being as my sister and I were older than our brothers, what we said went a lot of times. That is working just great. I like these sayings. This one's fun because it's like tracks in the snow. So maybe I'll place one of those there, and I like the navy mittens. Yep, I like that. I don't know about this one. Okay, I might have overdone this, like done enough the snow people without adding more of them. So I think I'll use the candles there. I just put my fan on and started blowing stuff around. My lights make me really hot, so I like to turn the fan on, but this isn't going to work because my stuff keeps blowing away. So I will just wait till I cool off, I guess. Oh right, now look, I've got these mittens and these mittens. I'll think about that in a minute, but let's first do this side. And stick it down. So then what happens here, of course, when it's not snowing, it's raining. And I think I need a bit more here. And sunny days at this time of year are kind of rare. And of course, it gets dark by 4 o'clock. I read somewhere once this quote that said, "I just love it when it gets dark at 4 o'clock. Said no one ever." And I have to agree with that, because when it's cloudy, well, this is funny. My husband has the Christmas lights on a light sensitive kind of timer. I'm just going to put some glue around here too. And so when it starts getting dark, they'll come on automatically. And then it has a time when it shuts off. He wants them off by, I don't know, 10:30 or 11 or midnight or whatever it is. Anyway, I was out shopping the other day and I came home and it was a very gloomy, wet day. And he said, "You won't believe it. The Christmas lights came on at 3:30 because it was so dark from all the heavy cloud." I'm like, oh yeah, well, let's just turn on all the lights then and, you know, create our own light in here, which I often do because I tend to get seasonal affective issues, you could say, from time to time, depending, and I have to kind of work at being perky. Now, should I put this in that space? I think so. And again, pressing the glue out towards the sides. So they're not actually touching. I like it when things overlap a little bit, but I think that might happen with either that bird or this little evergreen sprig or something. Anyway, when it gets too bad, my solution is to go to the fabric store, because it's like bright lights and full of color. And even if I'm not working on any projects and it's creative, right? And I sew. I'm not always sewing on something, but I usually have something that I'm halfway through and got sidetracked. And but anyway, just going to the fabric store and being around all that light and color cheers me up no end. So there's a tip for you. If you get seasonal affective disorder, not reasonable defective disorder, which it feels like sometimes, there's something you can try. Just go somewhere bright, like those big drugstores that are so bright, and just hang around. You know, look at all the makeup, look at the toys, look at whatever. Okay, I want this. I put it down, now I've got to kind of make that choice. So we'll keep that there then. And that gives me a couple of other little spots to put things. So if I put the bird kind of like that, I've got this, which can go either place. I think I have more of these as well, so I'm going to check that. But first, I'm going to use this and my glue stick, because this one has lots of little pointy bits. And this came out of a cookbook that was completely illustrated. Okay, now let me see if I can find something that goes in there and still looks good. This one doesn't need to have a message per se. I've got some leaves. Do I have anything evergreeny? Doesn't look like it. Flowers, stamps. I don't think so. What about these? I wish I had something with snow on it, and I might have in these bigger things, but like this is snow. That would look perfect there amongst, but it's too big for these little pages. Too flowery, too flowery. This is from a Chinese, oh, this is an empty one. This is from a Chinese art book that I took apart a while back. Well, that's not gonna work. Here's some other pieces. I think I like that one. And I'm going to distress the edges just to kind of camouflage the white on this little piece. I cut them out with my CRICUT machine, which I love. If you haven't got one, you might want to consider it. I'm just saying. I put a link below for purchasing. Anyway, these are part of my vintage Victorian Christmas set, which is also on my website in the shop at Summer Bay Studio. Here we are doing Christmas, and I'm talking summer, but that's okay. I think I like that. Got a bit carried away with the blue up here, but it blends, and I think it fits right in that spot quite well. So I think this is a job for the glue stick as well. Anyway, did I have a thought that I hadn't finished? I tend to, I'm a lateral thinker, so I go from one thought to the next very quickly. I don't always find my way back. Okay, now I think I would like something a little bit wordy up here. So maybe one of these. That would work. It doesn't mean anything, but how about 20 November 1976, 8:15. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Because why? Because the 20th of November, it is quite likely to blizzard in somewhere in Canada or north of here. So it almost looks like this is what happened on that day. I love it when you leave comments, and so if you have any ideas that you'd like to share, or if you like any of the ideas that I have here, please leave a comment and let me know. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, because I've got something new happening every week. Now this is glitter glue. I'm going to put some of this on the tree, just like little dots of frost, maybe. So this is silver glitter glue. I like it there. And the question now is, should I put it anywhere else? And I think a little bit on the hats of the snow people would be quite appropriate. When I was young, we had a Norwegian elkhound dog who absolutely loved winter. Even on coldest days, he'd play in the snow by himself. Too cold for us to go out, but he'd play. Now this glue has some dampness in it, so if you're seeing these little rings around the spots, don't worry, they'll go away. And as soon as it dries, that won't show at all, and neither will the glue itself. You'll just see the glitter and the little spots. So anyway, as I said, please subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell, and then you get the notification. So click all, and you get all the notifications. And I have links below for all kinds of things, and including the things that are in my shop. And I'll see you next time.